them to be responsible citizens. President Rodrigo Duterte personally condoles with the families of soldiers killed in the Marawi terrorist siege. Oil companies announce a big-time rollback in their pump prices effective tomorrow.
This is PTV News. Good evening. I'm Catherine Vital with Richmond Cruz. In the news tonight, President Rodrigo Duterte today urged Filipinos to become responsible citizens. The president issued the call in his message to the nation as it celebrates its 119th anniversary of independence. The president paid tribute to thousands of Filipinos who perished fighting for freedom more than a century ago. Simultaneous flag-raising activities were held as part of the nationwide celebration. At Manila's Rizal Park, Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano represented the president in the flag-raising rites. Also on hand was Vice President Leni Robredo. Roque Ignacio filed this report.
A flag-raising ceremony starts the celebration of the 119th anniversary of Independence Day. From the center of the celebration at Rizal Park, a simultaneous flag-raising ceremony was held in various historic places nationwide. The celebration has for its theme Kalayaan 2017, Pagbabago, Sama-samang Balikatin. Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano represented President Rodrigo Duterte in the occasion. Cayetano eventually turned over it to Vice President Leni Robredo. The Vice President was joined by members of the cabinet led by Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldea in the wreath-laying ceremony at the Dr. Jose Rizal Shrine in the Luneta Park. In his Independence Day message, President Duterte encouraged Filipinos to become united in the face of many challenges. The chief executive said this amidst continuing military operations against the terrorist group in Marawi City. He said blood, sweat, and the act of selfless sacrifice were part of the journey of the country's heroes to win freedom.
In spite and despite of the fact that Mindanao is in martial law and there is still fighting going on, we celebrate as one Filipinos around the world Independence Day. You know that the President has been working 24/7, meeting the troops, meeting the commanders, and then late last night visiting yung mga wounded at namatay. No? So that's why this morning he didn't feel that well. Nothing to worry about, but it's better for him to rest muna this morning kasi as you know, the target was to liberate Marawi today.
The palace official also reiterated that President Duterte decided to cancel the traditional Van Dinor to strictly monitor situation in Marawi City.
All of the cabinet members are pursuing their assignments, their objectives. So fully functional ang ating economic team, ang ating infrastructure team, ang ating social services.
Despite the president's non-appearance in the event, many are still confident that he can lead the country properly.
Nagpapasalamat ako na siya nagbigay pansin na ating kagitingan ng ating bayani. Siya lang po ang sinasaluduan ko kahit na PWD po ako. Saludo po ako kay Mr. Digong.
This was the first Independence Day ceremony under the Duterte administration. For the nation, Roque Ignacio.
Meanwhile, colorful floats were featured in this afternoon's Independence Day parade held at Quirino Grandstand in Manila. Top cabinet officials were among those on hand to witness the event. Sweden Velado has the details.
The strong presence of Filipino youth was felt in the celebration of the country's 119th Independence Day at the Quirino Grandstand. In today's parade, students from different schools, colleges, and universities showcased their talents in singing, dancing, and acting by interpreting through art the efforts of the government in fighting illegal drugs, corruption, and criminality. President Rodrigo Duterte has repeatedly mentioned in his speeches that he wants to put an end to biggest poisons of society to provide a safe and progressive Philippines for the next generation. Meanwhile, the giant and colorful floats captured attention of the audience. Its designs and details were inspired by the rich history and culture of Filipinos in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The last float, with features similar to our very own Banawe rice terraces, was especially made for 2017 Miss Universe Philippines Rachel Peters, who happily graced the celebration. But before this, employees from various government agencies waving Philippine flags also participated in the parade. In Luneta, I had a chance to ask Filipino millennials about their definition of independence.
Kalayaan, ibig sabihin no, nakalaya na tayo sa mga sumakop sa atin.
Yung malaya kang pumunta kahit saan, kahit anong oras, yun. Pagiging malaya na po yun.
Na-enjoy ko to sa pamagitan ng sa Facebook, malayang pag-comment sa mga issues and concerns dito sa bansa natin.
For the Nation, Sweden Velado.
At the historic Aguinaldo Shrine in Kawit, Cavite, Senator Panfilo Lacson called for unity among the people. He stressed that unity is an ingredient to achieve common goals and a key in hurdling the country's obstacles. Also on hand during the celebration was Cavite Governor Jesus Crispin Remulla. Joy Gumatay reports.
On the 119th unfurling of the Philippine national flag at the Aguinaldo Shrine, paving the way for the commemoration of the nation's independence from Spanish colonialism, Cavite Governor Jesus Crispin Remulla urges the Congress to make March 22, or the birth of the first Philippine president, a national holiday.
Well, may Bonifacio Day, may Rizal Day, pero I think the Emilio Aguinaldo's time has come to be recognized as the ultimate leader of the Philippine Revolution against Spain. Siya ang nagpanalo at nagbigay ng kalayaan sa ating bansa.
Senator Panfilo Lacson expressed his support to such request, emphasizing Aguinaldo, like all other Philippine heroes, deserve to be recognized for his sacrifices for national freedom. Aside from the morning program, Caviteños visited the Aguinaldo Shrine to drop by and sample the citywide Independence Day caravan. With the cooperation of micro, small, and medium enterprises in the province, the historical place was filled with an assortment of organic vegetables, processed meats, pastries, and other Cavite Pride products, most especially Cafe Amadeo, made by the residents of Barangay Dagatan, Amadeo, Cavite. The ceremonial activity may have been short and fast, but Governor Remulla is confident they're able to convey to the Filipino people the real meaning of the annual celebration.
May the celebration of Philippine Independence Day remind every Filipino that freedom is not a one-time victory, but something that is worth to be fought for over and over against anything that hinder national growth. For the Nation, Joy Gumatay.
Nowhere was the celebration of our nation's attainment of freedom more moving and compelling than in Ground Zero for military rule in the island of Mindanao. Amid the din of bombs blasting upon impact, along with hellish sounds of staccato gunfire, the most solemn melodic strains, along with vocal chorus of our national anthem being sung, moved soldiers and civilians alike. In this report from our reporter on assignment, Jervis Manahan.
Together with the nation, the local government of Lanao del Sur commemorated the 119th Independence Day of the country. Though not as joyous, rescue teams, AFP, PNP, and other agencies gathered at the capital this morning to raise our flag as a symbol of our defiance of terror. As if on cue, bombings rocked Marawi as our flag is being hoisted. Tears fell from some officials and employees because of the tough ordeal that has haunted them for almost 3 weeks now. The AFP says they will not surrender up until the last terrorist has been neutralized.
Sa araw na ito, ating itinataas muli ang bandila ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Tanda na ang lugar na ito ay lupa ng Republika ng Pilipinas, lupa ng mga dugong Pilipino, lupa ng ating mga kapatid na Maranao.
Lanao del Sur Vice Governor Bombit Adyong also broke into tears as he gave his message.
Wala kami sa mga bahay namin. Hindi namin kasama yung mga pamilya namin. Hindi natin papayagan. Mas Muslim man yan o Kristiyano na agaw ng lupain ng mga Maranao. Ipaglalaban po natin yan hanggang kamatayan.
The AFP targets to end the siege today, so their attacks this morning have been unrelenting. So far, around 200 members of the Maute group have been killed in the 3-week operations. Maute may have raised the ISIS flag, but they did not succeed with their plan. AFP Chief Eduardo Año confirmed to media that the Maute has originally planned to kill as many non-Muslims as they can to establish the Islamic State, but the armed forces was able to foil it. Right now, the Maute has almost been cornered. Vice Governor Adyong has a message to the extremists.
Yung mga kapatid nating Muslim na nandiyan sa loob, tigilan na natin itong walang kwentang pinaglalaban na itong mga kapatid nating hindi ko alam kung anong pinaglalaban meron sila, dahil kung ang pinaglalaban nila yung karapatan ng Muslim, nandyan ang negotiating table kung nasaan ang gobyerno natin.
The siege has been ongoing for almost 3 weeks and it has claimed a lot of lives. This only proves that freedom, after all, is not free. For the Nation, Jervis Manahan, Marawi City.
The busiest and perhaps most relevant guy among all the president's men took time out from monitoring and managing the ongoing Marawi City siege to join the president's daughter, mayor, in their hometown and honor flag and country in this most eventful and solemn day in the nation's life. PTV's Maute tells us how the Defense Department's head honcho enjoined the entire nation to show patriotism by completely supporting the government troops, even as he reiterates the non-combat role the United States has been assisting government troops in the battle-torn city.
For the first time in history, Davao City participated in the nationwide simultaneous flag raising for the 119th year of the Philippine Independence Day celebration. The event was held at the Quezon and Rizal Parks in downtown Davao. Department of National Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana attended as a guest of honor. He was given a warm welcome by Mayor Sara Duterte. Lorenzana says he was assigned to go to Davao and attend the celebration, as well as other cabinet members in different provinces nationwide to represent the president. Mayor Sara opened her speech by dedicating a moment of silence to show respect, admiration, and honor to the fallen soldiers in the recent ambush in Paquibato District, Davao City, and to those who have died in Marawi.
Let us pause for a moment to pray for our soldiers who died yesterday in Paquibato and for the officers and soldiers who died in Marawi.
Lorenzana, on the other hand, asked the public for their continuing support to the government, especially in fighting terrorism in the country and specifically in Mindanao right now. Also present were Malaysian and Indonesian consuls who, according to Lorenzana, have also offered their government's help in the fight against terrorism. On the presence of the American troops in Marawi, Lorenzana says that these soldiers never left Zamboanga. He also clarified they only extend intelligence and surveillance information and never joined the Philippine troops in combat. The secretary also admitted that their help is very vital in the government operation.
Very vital kasi makita natin kung nasaan yung mga saka hindi lang sa Marawi kasi buong Lanao del Sur. Nasaan sila nakapwesto, nasaan nakapwesto yung kalaban para para maiwasan na natin magkamali ulit yung ating mga pagbagsak ng bomba.
Regarding Isnilon Hapilon and Madi Maute, were both earlier said to have died, Lorenzana says that they do not have any indications that they have been killed nor that they have left Marawi, and so they presume that they are still in Marawi leading and giving orders to the terrorist group. The government also assumes that the civilian hostages are still alive and are still being held captive by the Maute group.
Yung mga hinustage sila, yung isang pare, saka I think 200 people, hindi namin alam kung saan eh. Maraming tinatago nila sa mga bahay nila doon. Ang problema kasi natin dyan sa Marawi, reinforce yung mga building na ninikompay nila. Hindi kaya ng kanyon ng ganito, papaputok ang hindi matinag.
Lorenzana says the government firmly believes that the Marawi siege would end soon. In fact, he says that President Duterte is now discussing with him the rehabilitation plans for Marawi and its residents. Reporting from Davao City, for the Nation, Marita Muaje.
President Rodrigo Duterte personally condoles with families of soldiers who were killed in the Marawi terrorist siege. The details follow shortly.
Not be fooled by fake numbers. Know the real numbers. From July 1, 2016 to June 6, 2017, the Duterte administration has successfully conducted more than 61,000 anti-drug operations, arrested more than 82,000 drug personalities, assisted more than 1.3 million drug surrenders, and neutralized more than 3,000 drug personalities.
Here, you don't have to see the sun to discover radiance. You don't have to see color to experience vibrance. You don't have to see smiles to know you're seen.
Going home, Masaru? Hi. No. Next time. Arigato.
You don't have to see to feel you are home.
Unang iwinagayway bilang simbolo ng ating tagumpay laban sa mga Kastila, hanggang sa formal na pagpapahayag ng kasarinlang tinatamasa nating mga Pilipino at ng ating bansa. Ito ang bandila ng Pilipinas. Mula noon hanggang ngayon, simbolo ng ating katatagan at pagkakakilanlan. Mahalin natin, igalang at ipagdiwang.
President Rodrigo Duterte personally paid tribute to 8 soldiers killed in fighting between government forces and Maute terrorists in Marawi City. He led Sunday's arrival honors at the Villamor Air Base for the fallen soldiers. The president also condoled and extended financial assistance to their families. Kenneth Paciente has more.
The C-130 of the Philippine Army, which carried the remains of the 8 dead soldiers who died in the armed clashes in Marawi Friday night, arrived in Villamor Air Base 5 p.m. yesterday. The fallen soldiers were identified as First Lieutenant Raymond Abad, First Lieutenant John Frederick Savellano, Staff Sergeant Joven Triston, Sergeant Simeon Plares, Private Bernie Jan Lunas, Private First Class Hener Tinangag, Corporal Roland Sumagpang, and Private First Class Marvin Russell Gomez. They were given arrival honors and paid tribute as they fought bravely to win the peace in Mindanao. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte also extended his sympathy to the bereaved families. Noima is still in pain as her brother Sergeant Simeon Plares passed away full of unfulfilled dreams. That's why her only wish is for the chaos in Marawi City to stop.
Dapat tigil na. Tigil na. Yung buhay ng kapatid ko, wala na. Yung gera hindi pa rin natatapos. Bata pa ng kapatid ko, 33 lang.
She's also thankful for the president's help.
Sabi niya 250 and then may pahabol na 250.
The fallen soldiers were granted full military honors and military merit medals in recognition of their bravery and for sacrificing their lives for nation. After the arrival honors, prayers were offered to the dead soldiers. According to Vice Admiral Ronald Joseph Mercado, flag officer in command of Philippine Navy, the death of these soldiers will serve as an inspiration to other Marines and soldiers.
Their sacrifice will inspire every Marine, every sailor, every soldier, and every police staking out their lives in Marawi.
Meanwhile, Major General Emmanuel Salamat, commander of Philippine Marines, emphasized that even though their troop lost some of its members, it won't stop them from their mission to bring back peace in Mindanao.
Does not prevent us from accomplishing our mission. And all the more, katulad ng sinabi ko, we draw our inspiration and courage from the bravery of our fallen soldiers.
For now, some of the remains will stay for a while in the Marines Barracks Rojardo Brown in Taguig, while the other remains will be brought to their respective homes. For the nation, Kenneth Paciente.
Meanwhile, a high noon salute was held today for the heroes and innocent victims of the Marawi terrorist siege. Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella said the high noon salute was in homage to the fallen soldiers of Marawi. It was also in remembrance of all the innocent victims who perished as a result of rebel atrocities committed. Meanwhile, the AFP urged government agencies to fly flags at half-mast to honor fallen troops, civilians in the Marawi terrorist siege. The AFP issued the call in addition to the observance of a day of silence and prayer for the fallen troops and civilians, which started Sunday and will end next Monday.
For our business news, local oil companies have an Independence Day gift to Filipinos. They are set to cut their pump prices effective tomorrow. Flying V, Sea Oil, Filipina Shell, Petron, PT&T, Phoenix Petroleum, and Eastern Petroleum are among the oil firms that are making the price adjustments. They will reduce gasoline price at 80 centavos per liter and diesel at 95 centavos per liter. Flying V, Sea Oil, Shell, and Petron will also roll back their kerosene prices at 1 peso and 20 centavos per liter. Flying V and Sea Oil will implement the price adjustments effective midnight tonight and the others at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Employment opportunities were made available to thousands of job seekers today. Job fairs were held on the occasion of the country's celebration of its 119th Independence Day. Free medical and dental services were also extended to the public at Manila's Rizal Park. Pauline Requesto reports.
Mang Elizalde took refuge under a tree while filling out a job application form for an overseas job. He said he's hoping he can once again work abroad so he can give his family a decent life.
Basta matanggap lang, may trabaho, ma'am. Importante kasi, kailangan talaga, ma'am. Hirap kasi, alam mo, may mga anak tayo na maliliit.
Mang Elizalde is among the more than 7,300 Filipinos who took their chances at the nationwide Independence Day Job Fair organized by the Department of Labor and Employment. On the other hand, Jemima, who just graduated college, said she couldn't believe that she immediately landed a job as a cashier.
According to them, hard na daw pag pumunta sa main office nila for tomorrow.
Like Jemima, more than 400 applicants were also hired on the spot during the one-day job fair. Around 700 employers participated in the nationwide job fair, including government agencies, local and overseas employers. The Labor Department admitted that job seekers were relatively few today, but it will continue to improve the program, especially since thousands of Filipinos benefit from it.
Ina-assess namin yan kung anong maganda. Kasi the most attractive pa rin yung malamig ang lugar, yung mga mall. Hindi ko sinasabi, aalisin natin. Kasi may significance din ang Luneta eh. Yung significance ng Independence Day observance at doon kami magja-job eh.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health, Philippine Coast Guard, and Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office offered free medical and dental checkups for the 119th Independence Day.
Nagawa na po namin ito ng mga nakaraang taon. And nakita nga namin na parang patuloy siyang tinatangkilik. At ito din po ay para mabigyan po natin serbisyo ang ating mga kababayan.
Among those who lined up early to avail the services was Nanay Maricel.
Wala naman kami pambiling gamot. Kaya nagtyaga kami magpila dyan.
For the Nation, Pauline Requesto.
For a few hours today, Freedom Day also meant free train services for commuters. The offer was made by MRT3, as we hear from Trixie Jafar.
As part of the celebration of Philippine Independence Day, commuters availed of free rides in Metro Rail Transit Line 3 or MRT3. This was spearheaded by the Department of Transportation in commemoration of Independence Day. The riding public expressed their excitement as they availed of the free ride from 7 to 9 in the morning and between 5 to 7 in the evening. Each passenger were given a single journey card as they entered the MRT premises boarding in North Avenue Station.
Masyado siyang convenient ngayon kasi at least kahit na one free ride lang siya, na free, convenient doon sa mga sumasakay. Nagkaroon din ng free.
Masasabi ko po na maganda po yung offer nila ngayon, yung free rides ng MRT. Nakikisa sa pagdiriwang ng araw ng kalayaan ngayong araw na ito at muli magandang araw ng kalayaan po sa ating lahat.
Maayos po, maganda. Siyempre nakakapagbigay ng ganitong serbisyo yung gobyerno pag ganitong merong ginugunitang pangyayari sa ating bansa. Especially ngayong 119 na araw ng ating kalayaan, mas makakalibot yung ating mga kababayan na holiday ngayon, pista opisyal. So maganda tong serbisyo na libre na pinapamalas ngayon sa mga riding public.
Moreover, the MRT3 runs from North Avenue in Quezon City to Taft Avenue in Pasay City. It can be recalled that metro train lines offer free rides annually in commemoration of the Philippine independence. For The Nation, Trixie Jafar.
Folks, this is PTV Info Weather. Better weather condition over Luzon and Visayas kick-started Independence Day today. Expect the same weather condition for most parts of the country. Now, looking at our latest satellite image, the cloud cluster outside the Philippine area of responsibility is lingering over the West Philippine Sea. It's a tropical depression, Merbok. Now, Pag-asa clarifies, though, this is not affecting any parts of the country as it is moving further away. Now, the rain clouds over Visayas and Mindanao, meanwhile, is caused by a form of a wind convergence in Mindanao area. Now, based on the latest rain satellite, we can also see some brief isolated showers over sections of Caraga and Davao region, as well in Soxargen and ARMM and portions of Bicol region all the way down to Samar and Leyte provinces. Now, Pag-asa warns this rainy weather condition over Mindanao area may persist until tomorrow. As for our forecast tomorrow over Luzon, rain showers or light showers will be concentrated over Ilocos region and La Union area. Now, dry weather conditions meanwhile over Cagayan Valley and Cordillera region as well. And now moving down south over central and southern Luzon, rain showers over portions of central Luzon over at Clark, Zambales, as well as Bataan area, and thunderstorms over Metro Manila tomorrow with partly cloudy skies at Quezon and Nueva Ecija area. As for those of you in the Visayas, prepare for some isolated rain showers over Samar and Leyte provinces all the way down to Bohol and Metro Cebu. Now, partly cloudy skies will be up for Negros Island as well as here in Palawan area. Meanwhile, over Mindanao, thunderstorms and isolated rain showers is expected over Caraga region and Davao region. Now, partly cloudy skies over ARMM and Soxargen. We may have rainy weather tomorrow as well as here in Zamboanga Peninsula. As for those of you heading back to work tomorrow, let's now take a quick look of our metro cities forecast for the week. And that's the latest for now, only here on PTV Info Weather. For The Nation, Ice Martinez.
PTV News returns with more news here at home right after some important messages. Stay with us.
Do not be fooled by fake numbers. Know the real numbers. From July 1, 2016 to June 6, 2017, 179 law enforcers became casualties after conducting numerous anti-drug operations in the country. 132 were wounded, while 47 others died in the line of duty.
Bunsod ng sunod-sunod na pag-atake at karahasan na nararanasan ng ating mga kababayan sa Mindanao sa kamay ng mga local terrorist at extremist, nagdeklara si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte ng martial law sa buong Mindanao. Kabilang ang Basilan, Sulu at Tawi-Tawi noong May 23 habang siya ay nasa Russia para sa isang opisyal na pagbisita doon. Agad din niyang pinutol ang kanyang biyahe sa Russia upang alamin ang sitwasyon sa Mindanao.
That as of 10 p.m. Manila time, he has already declared martial law for the entire island of Mindanao.
Matapos magdeklara ng martial law, kinakailangan sa loob ng 48 oras ay magsumite ang Pangulo ng ulat sa Kongreso, personal man o nakasulat. Nakasaad sa ating saligang batas na epektibo ang martial law o ang suspensyon ng writ of habeas corpus sa loob ng 60 araw lamang. Nasa Kongreso na ang desisyon kung ito ay palalawigin pa. Maaaring ipawalang bisa ng Kongreso o bawiin ang batas militar sa pamamagitan ng boto ng mayorya ng mga miyembro. Pwede ring questionin ng Korte Suprema ang deklarasyon ng martial law at dapat itong desisyonan ng mataas na hukuman sa loob lamang ng 30 araw. Ang pagdedeklara ni Pangulong Duterte ng martial law sa Mindanao ay upang protektahan ang mga residente roon na walang awang pinapaslang ng mga local terrorist. Ang proklamasyon ng batas militar sa Mindanao ay upang maibsan din ang pangamba ng mga Pilipino na ang gulo sa Mindanao ay lumaganap na sa buong bansa.
The cool and landlocked highlands of Bukidnon played host to a distinguished guest who led ceremonies in honoring the flag and the forefathers who fought for freedom and fraternity that culminated in our emancipation from foreign rule 19 years ago. PTV's Alan Francisco is on assignment in Don Manolo Fortich, and he covered Secretary Martin Andanar's visit in this report.
Commemoration not only for the heroes who fought against the foreign invaders before, but also to those soldiers and policemen who are now fighting the Maute terrorist group in Marawi City. This is the crux of the speech of Presidential Communications Operations Office or PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar after he led the commemoration of Independence Day in Manolo Fortich in Bukidnon.
Si Douglas MacArthur, the legendary General Douglas MacArthur, came here to Bukidnon and addressed a small crowd of people here in Bukidnon, and he said, "I shall return." And using the strip in Camp Phillips, the airstrip, he flew to Australia. Ito po ang significance ng Bukidnon. And why is that speech of MacArthur significant? Because that speech was the battle cry, was the inspiration of the entire Philippines.
According to Andanar, the government and the Filipino people expressed their condolences for the families of soldiers and policemen who died in Marawi.
Tayo po ay nakikiisa sa kanila, and we are all proud of you for fighting for our independence.
The secretary also lashed out on the alleged ISIS flag raising in Marawi because it totally disrespects the independence of the country. Andanar also reiterates that the Duterte administration will not stop until the country is totally free from drugs, criminality, and poverty. Meanwhile, residents of Manolo Fortich believe that choosing their place as one of the venues for the Independence Day celebration will help to bring more recognition and appreciation over the beauty of their municipality.
I'm very honored, no? I'm very happy na sa lahat ng lugar na pinili ng Presidential Communications Office dito sa Manolo Fortich sila na hold. This only goes to show that it's business as usual here in Manolo Fortich, and we are happy that we are finally being recognized as a safe, progressive community na anytime pwedeng makapunta ang mga tourists.
Para sa akin, ang ibig ng sabihin ng kalayaan ay ang paglaya natin sa mga bansang nanakop sa atin.
Masaya ako sa ating presidente dahil para na rin siyang bayani.
For the nation, together with Albert Del Rosario, I am Alan Francisco, Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon.
Senator Lauren Legarda led the Independence Day commemoration at the historic Barsowain Church in Malolo City in Bulacan. In her speech, Legarda paid homage to the fallen government troops in the Marawi siege, including the 13 Marines killed in clashes with terrorists and the 11 soldiers killed in a friendly fire. She described the historic Barsowain Church as a symbol of change, representing significant events that paved the way for the country's attainment of freedom. Lala Babilonia tells us more.
In the country's continuous pursuit for peace, the local government of Malolos, Bulacan dedicated the celebration of the 119th Philippine Independence Day to the soldiers and policemen whose lives were lost in the Marawi siege. The flag ceremony was held at the Barasawayan Church, wherein Senator Lauren Legarda was the keynote speaker. Legarda took the opportunity to appeal to the public not to be oppressed by fake news.
There is no fake news. Huwag natin ilinlang ang taong bayan. That's the responsibility of all of you, of all journalists and everybody.
For Governor Wilhelmio C. Alvarado, Independence Day is about being united with fellow Filipinos in order to achieve true freedom.
Sapagkat ang kalaban natin ay ang ating mga sarili at ang ating pagkakahati-hati sa maraming bagay. Pinaalaala sa atin ng Hunyo 12, 1898 nang walang anumang balakid ang maaring umadlang sa ating mga adhikain. Kung tayo'y nagkakabuklod-buklod bilang sambayanan at mayroong isang puso't damdamin.
For the Nation, Lala Babilonia.
Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio has condoled with the families of 2 soldiers killed in an ambush staged by communist rebels in Paquibato District early yesterday morning. The soldiers of the 16th Infantry Battalion were responding to a reported consolidation of communist rebels planning to conduct atrocities when they were waylaid. Marita Mohay has more of this report.
2 soldiers died while 6 others were wounded when they were ambushed by a group believed to be NPAs in Sitio Bahada, Paradise Embac, Paquibato District, Davao City at around 2 in the morning of June 11. Major Ezra Balagde, Eastern Mindanao Command spokesperson, says that they received a report of an NPA concentration in the area. The rebel group is also said to be planning atrocities in the community and the units as well. The 16th Infantry Battalion responded but were ambushed along the way.
Responde yung ating 16th Infantry Battalion, and nung malapit na sila, nagkaroon sila ng putukan. They were fired upon by the NPAs that resulted to sa intense exchange firefight between the government troops at saka yung NPA.
Those killed were identified as Corporal Cassidy Uday and Police First Class Freddy De Los Santos, while those wounded were 2nd Lieutenant Ian Noel Calopez, Corporal Rosel Ocampo, Police First Class Joe Mario Gore, Police First Class Jesse Baldonaza, Police First Class Elwin Revilla, and Police First Class Ronnie Mar Roliuque. They are now in different hospitals and are being treated. Balagte says that they believe the ambush was perpetrated by the NPA group as there are no other threats in the area other than them. Meanwhile, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte expressed her sadness over the incident.
Sad and unfortunate incident for Davao City, and may condolences pa tayo sa families of the soldier.
Right after the Independence Day celebration at the Rizal Park, the mayor went straight to the funeral of the 2 fallen soldiers. She said the city government commits to support and extend all possible help to the families of the victim. In the middle of this incident, and the NPA group offering their help to the AFP and the government in fighting the Maute and the ASG to just extend this help in the form of prayers.
We will accept their help through prayers na lang. Huwag na silang makisama sa armadong pakikibaka. Sabi ko na nga, isa lang ang ating armed forces at saka PNP.
Reporting from Davao City, for the Nation, Marita Muaje.
In our present-day democracy and in sync with the fast-changing times of the digital age, add one more freedom each, and every Filipino should be emancipated from the liberation from our turtle-paced wireless internet connection. Just one more concern the Duterte administration is completely aware of and focused on to deliver as a basic and inalienable right of every Filipino in the attainment of inclusive growth, the right to free and or low-cost high-speed wireless online connection to a world of information. PTV's Julius Desamburun sheds more light in this report.
Speedy internet access was just one of the previous offered by the Duterte administration this Independence Day. This was led by Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella, Department of Information and Communications Technology Secretary Rodolfo Salalima, MMDA Chairman Danilo Lim, and representatives of DOTR and private companies. However, DICT clarified that the EDSA public Wi-Fi launch on June 12 is only the first stage of the project, which covers all 13 MRT3 stations from North to Taft Avenues along EDSA from Guadalupe to Cubao. However, the ICT clarified that the EDSA public Wi-Fi launch on June 12 is only the first stage of the project, which covers all 13 MRT3 stations from North to Taft Avenues and along EDSA from Guadalupe to Cubao. Beginning today, commuters can now access for 30 minutes or an hour. On July 24, before the State of the Nation address of President Rodrigo Duterte, the second stage of the Wi-Fi project will be launched, this time including EDSA Cubao to North Avenue and from Guadalupe to Taft Avenue. The high-speed Wi-Fi zone will also be expecting along Taft to North Avenues in the second phase of the project. By the end of August this year, the last stage of the Easier Wi-Fi Access project shall comprise the whole 24-kilometer stretch of EDSA and outside MRT3 stations. Free Wi-Fi internet shall be accessed from the Mall of Asia to Balintawak. When completed, more than 1 million Filipino passengers traversing EDSA by railway system or vehicles will benefit from the program.
We are simply complying with the mandate of the President, and we are complying with international law and treatises and our own Constitution. Habang sila din po ay nagko-commute, ay maaari din po silang magtrabaho.
This project is based on the international standards made possible with the cooperation of the 3 private telecommunication companies and DICT. A number of websites have also been blacklisted. Earlier, Malacanang pointed out that this project will be a big help for the public to achieve better communication. With DICT's People Connect, more than 13,000 public places including 100 cities and more than 1,000 municipalities are being targeted to have free Wi-Fi access.
The month of June, incidentally, is the National Information and Communications Technology Month in the Philippines. It is thus fitting that one of the highlights of this month's celebration is free internet access, one of the promises made by President Rodrigo Duterte in his first State of the Nation address.
Local government units are also being coordinated under this project. For the Nation, Julius Tisamboron.
For our foreign page, the great white shark deserves its name. It can grow to over 6 meters, has no natural predators, and is one of the primary predators of marine mammals. But for all its ferocity, the species is listed as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. And scientists who monitor them are seeing less and less of them every year. VOA's Kevin Enochs reports.
These tourists are paying good money to get up close and personal with a great white shark. But tour operators say their job is getting harder.
Now, say 4 years ago, it's very easy to see about 6, 7 different sharks around the boats at a time. Nowadays, you average about 3, maybe 4 if you're very lucky.
Shark researchers from Stellenbosch University just finished a census of the great whites in this area, and they agree.
We started this work in 2009 by collecting photographic identification of the white shark's dorsal fin. The white shark dorsal fin is like a fingerprint. It is unique for every individual. So by doing that, we could count the animals without double counting them, because now we know which is which.
The photos are entered into a database that allows the scientists to track the location and behavior of sharks. Their new research suggests great white numbers have dropped dramatically.
We are working in what is called the white shark capital of the world. So we were expecting to find thousands of sharks around here, certainly not 500 alone.
But another group of researchers is also working in the region, and they say they're getting less discouraging population counts.
And I think it's entirely possible that they didn't see enough mature adults because we simply don't encounter them at the boat very often. In our experience here, we very rarely, we'll see a large shark off the distance, but they don't often approach the boat where we can get a photograph of them.
The hope is that these new numbers will turn out to be correct. But what is clear is that white sharks, like most other large ocean predators, are on the decline and may need more protection.
The staging of one of the country's toughest contact sport competitions turned out to be successful in Imus, Cavite this Saturday as more than 100 karatekas kicked at the Kyokushin Karate Invitational Full Contact Tournament. Aden Malyara has more of the story.
Kyokushin Karate do Philippines had its full support for the holding of the Invitational Full Contact Karate Tournament in Imus, Cavite last weekend. More than 100 Kyokushin fighters saw action at the occasion. This is one way of Kyokushin Philippines to sharpen the skills of young karatekas. Kyokushin is a full contact combat style of karate, with the mouthpiece and groin cup acting as the only support for the karatekas.
Yung mga ganitong klaseng event, nakakatulong siya for exposure, especially yung sa mga nagtitraining.
Aside from participants and supportive parents, the event was also graced by the duly recognized father of Kyokushin Philippines and branch chief, Stephen Fu, who just did not sit and observe but also acted as referee for the Filipino karatekas. Chief Instructor Victor Cannon expressed how pleased he was with how their group has been growing in all of the 21 years since Kyokushin Philippines started.
We are having more and more students every year, and they've been improving in terms of skills, fighting style, and some of them were able to represent the country internationally. So I think we are developing a very good, strong youth when it comes to martial arts is concerned.
After the invitational tournament, the group is set to send a team to the Asia Open Kyokushin Championship, which will be held in China this coming October, before going to Japan for the SA World Weight category in November. For The Nation, Kay Asuncion.
In the headlines, Filipinos mark the country's 119th Independence Day today.